If you're working in residential real estate right now, you probably already know that the skills you'll need to transition onto the commercial side of the business are very different, especially if you want to work on big deals and you want to work for or with major institutional firms. And while a background in residential sales can give you really valuable experience when it comes to the transaction process itself, there are a few key things that are very likely missing from your skill set that are really important to address when trying to make this move. So to make sure you're focused on the right things to make this transition as seamless as possible, in this video we'll break down 4 of my biggest pieces of advice for people moving from residential real estate to commercial real estate and the most important actions you can take to successfully make this pivot. So if you're looking to transition to working at a commercial real estate investment, development, brokerage, or lending firm, the first thing I'd recommend focusing on is learning about commercial real estate finance and financial modeling in Excel, ideally in a way that you could include on your resume. While residential real estate tends to focus on things like comparable sales and general supply and demand dynamics to value properties, valuing commercial real estate has a lot more moving pieces that you'll need to understand. These include things like the impacts of commercial real estate debt terms on an investment, the effects of commercial real estate lease structures on a property's cash flows, and the key drivers of capital markets activity in the industry overall. And since the entry point into this part of the business is typically at the analyst level, you'll also usually need to be very comfortable with Excel to be considered for a position. Commercial real estate firms usually look for analyst candidates that can understand and work in pre-built pro forma models, make customizations to existing company templates, and even build out entire acquisition and development models from scratch in some cases. So the stronger you can build your technical skills up front, the more traction you're likely to see when submitting job applications. Now, the next thing I'd recommend doing is directly related to the way you showcase your current skills and past experiences, and this is quantifying your achievements in the residential sector on your resume as much as possible. This can involve highlighting the number of closed transactions you've worked on throughout your career. This could be the aggregate dollar amount of those transactions in total, or this could even be a few notable high-profile deals you were a part of that can help show commercial real estate employers that you can handle high-pressure situations and you've managed this process before. If you're working in a major gateway market like New York or Los Angeles, even if you're only working on residential sales, your average deal size could be $1 million or more. And when you add up the total value of the properties you've listed or the properties you've helped clients buy over time, that total dollar amount can start to add up. And the same thing is true not only for your achievements, but also the actions you've taken on a day-to-day basis that can demonstrate your work ethic and drive over time. So instead of just saying that you made cold calls or conducted market research for clients, this would involve talking through how many cold calls you made on a daily or weekly basis, how many appointments you set up because of these, and any specific metrics or trends you may have looked at when analyzing a real estate market. And in addition to these things, you may also want to highlight any experience you have working with high net worth or institutional clients, managing complex negotiations on behalf of sellers or buyers, or handling multiple different transactions all at the same time. If it's possible, I would also highly recommend highlighting any experience you have working with investment properties of any size, and even if these are just 2 to 4 unit multifamily buildings or single commercial office condos, this will give you space to talk through the types of analyses you ran on these deals and what specifically you focused on when advising your clients. Any information you can add that provides more context on the outcomes of your activities, the geographic markets you know well, your ability to build connections and sell, and your ability to manage the transaction process in a variety of different situations can all put you ahead of other candidates without these experiences. Now, the third thing I'd recommend doing when making this career transition is trying to get some exposure to the commercial side of the business before you start to apply for jobs. As a residential broker or investor, you have a lot of valuable knowledge to bring to the table, and if you can work with a local developer to help plan out a mixed-use project with a residential component, or just act as a consultant to determine the value of a residential component of a property, these things can help you get exposure to the industry without having to go all in on a career change immediately. In a lot of residential sales offices, there are also agents that work on very small commercial deals on the side, so offering to help out with tours or any administrative tasks that need to be done on any of these projects can also give you something to add to your resume and talk through during interviews. Hands-on experience with commercial deals will give you a much clearer sense of how investors think through different opportunities, how commercial leases and property financing structures can affect the economics of a deal, and how commercial properties are ultimately valued in the market, and these things can all be included within your resume bullet points. Now, the last thing I want to mention here is something that realistically needs to be considered when making this transition, and this is that you may need to take a step back career-wise to move into commercial real estate. If right now you're making multiple six figures selling houses and you're spending most of your time showing properties and negotiating deals, in most cases you'll need to be willing to take a pay cut to make this career move, and you'll also need to be willing to shift back into more of an in-office role when you first make this switch. However, if having a steady salary feels refreshing to you and you want to make sure you understand the numbers behind commercial real estate before making investments of your own, the long-term rewards of starting back over can be very worthwhile in a few different ways. First, because commercial property values tend to be so much higher than single-family home values, the earning potential in commercial real estate tends to be a lot higher across the board. And if you're trying to move away from a commission-based role like a residential sales agent, there are a lot of options to consider within the commercial sector, some of which can pay well into the mid-six figures as you progress throughout your career. And second, commercial real estate also tends to offer a lot more variation in what you'll be involved with on a day-to-day basis, which can make your work feel a lot more interesting over a 20 or 30-year career. And if you plan to make your own investments in commercial real estate in the future, working in this part of the industry can help you analyze investment opportunities, manage properties in your portfolio, and ultimately build the relationships you'll need to get deals done. So if I were working in residential real estate right now and I wanted to make the transition onto the commercial side of the business, these are the main things I'd focus on right now. And if you're watching this and you are looking to make this transition yourself and you want to make sure you have the technical skills you'll need to add to your resume and pass an Excel modeling exam that might be given to you during the interview process, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Breaking a CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You'll get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, and you'll also get access to the Break-In CRE Analyst Certification exam, which covers topics like real estate pro forma and development modeling, commercial real estate lease modeling, equity waterfall modeling, and many other real estate financial analysis concepts that will help you prove to employers that you have what it takes to tackle the responsibilities of an analyst or associate at a top real estate firm. And if you like this video and want to see more content on the differences between residential and commercial real estate, make sure to hit the like button and let me know. And let me know in the comments why you are looking to make the transition out of the residential sector and what other questions you have about making the switch. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.